There is a real art to getting in the self-storage business or growing your self-storage business. And the art I'm talking about is the art of getting in front of deals, good deals, getting in front of deal flows. Let's talk about that today. My name is Mark Helm. I'm the author of Creating Wealth Through Self-Storage, and I'm the creator of the Self-Storage Quick Start Academy. And what I do is I support small investors who want to get in the self-storage business and who want to grow their self-storage business, strategically do so in a way that creates true wealth and a very fulfilling career. And yes, in my opinion, there's a real art to finding good deals and getting in front of them, and especially getting them in front of them before other people do. I talked about it in the book, Creating Wealth Through Self-Storage. And in that book, I talked about becoming the go-to person for self-storage in your area. Now, your area could be your city, your state, a geographical region of the country, but to be the go-to person or a go-to person that when people think of self-storage, you get associated with it. And that takes time and that takes skill. So let's talk about the skill sets that are involved in developing yourself as the go-to person for everyone involved in self-storage, from the owners to the brokers to your sphere of influence. Now, in my opinion, like everything else in life, the quality of your life, the quality of your self-storage business is going to be a function of the relationships that you have. Now, I know a lot of people may argue with me, especially what? In the day of the internet? You know, who needs relationships? I can find the deals online. Yes, you can, but here's my invitation. Begin to relate to the internet as a way of connecting with the players in the self-storage business. So everything I'm going to share with you is my opinion, but in my opinion, the part of the art of getting in front of good deal flow and getting in front of it before other people do is to be in relationship with the people who sell self-storage. Wouldn't that just make sense? If you want to buy self-storage, develop relationships with the people who sell self-storage. My coaching is the internet's a way to get in, to meet those people, to connect with those people, to get to know them and have them, more importantly, get to know you. So let's get specific. In your business strategy, part of a good business strategy is where in the country are you going to be owning self-storage? Is it going to be your city, your state, a certain geographical region of the country? Get clear on that. And for simplicity reasons, I usually divide the country up: northeast, southeast, midwest, southwest, west, and then west coast. Then pick out what geographical area of the country you're going to focus on. Now, I know some of you are focused all over the country. Great. But still, divide the country up that way, and then get to see who are the self-storage brokers and companies in those particular areas that tend to have the majority of the listings, the self-storage listings. It's not hard to find out. You will see very quickly as you use the internet to search for deals. You will find out who the players are. Now, if you're interested in what websites I use, and I don't think anything I do is any different from what you're probably doing, but if you're interested in the websites I use, I've created a download for you, Creating Wealth Through Self-Storage, episode 129. So it's creatingwealththroughselfstorage.com/129. And that will give you access to the websites that we use. And it doesn't take very long to see who are the companies and who are the people that are the movers and shakers in that part of the country marketing most of the self-storage. In my humble opinion, those men and women can make or break you. You want to develop good, strong, solid relationships with them. So here's my suggestion, and here's what I did early on, is I would call these agents, even if I looked at a deal and it didn't look like a very good deal, I would still call them, talk about the listings that they had, and more importantly, I would give them my story. So if you don't have it, create a storyline about who you are, your experience, and especially if you're new in the self-storage business, has never been more critical than it is today. You've got to have those brokers thinking. Now, I'm not saying misrepresent yourself, but I'm saying talk strategically and let them know that this wasn't just something you woke up yesterday deciding you wanted to get in the self-storage business. You've been studying the self-storage business. Here's what I've done. Here's my past history. I've got my money raised, or I have my money in the bank. I've talked with lenders. I know what I'm doing, and this is what I'm looking for. This is the game I'm playing in the self-storage business. And get those brokers beginning to relate to you as someone who knows what they're doing in the self-storage business. And even if it's not this deal, they will begin to think of you as they're looking at deals and begin to develop those strategic relationships. And it's not a lot of them. In the Southeast, there's 5 or 6 different players that have the majority of the listings that I tend to look at. And I talk to the same people over and over again. They know me, I know them. And here's what I know. You make enough of those connections and enough of those calls, pretty soon you're going to have one under contract. And when you have one under contract, it's critically important that you keep the agents and the seller, but especially the agents, on top of what you're doing during your due diligence. And you want to begin to get the reputation of being someone who does what they say they're going to do. And all you got to do is buy one. And all of a sudden, you are now a buyer of self-storage. And not only that agent, but other agents will now start calling you and presenting deals to you as soon as they know of them or as soon as they get control of them, and you will have the opportunity to begin to see deals before the rest of the market does. Why? Because the brokers want to look good to their clients. They want to be able to tell their clients they know who the buyers are in this part of the country, and they can connect with those buyers and present the seller's deal in a way that will help the seller. So you help those agents look good by doing what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it, and not just tying a bunch of properties up under contract and then hoping one of them closes. No, do all your legwork up front, have your money up front, have your financing somewhat arranged, or at least you know where you're taking it to. They've already looked at you financially. Now all you got to do is run the deal through it. But you get that reputation with a few of the brokerage houses, and particularly a few of the self-storage brokers, then they're connecting with you, bringing you deals in the future. Now, I know there's a lot of good strategies of doing mail-outs and trying to connect directly with the self-storage owners, or talking to banks and trying to get in front of the REO properties, the self-storage that the bank may have taken back. Frankly, there's not too many of them, but there are some. And all those are good strategies. And I've done them. And I'm not against them. But here's what I know. If you want to buy self-storage, develop relationships with the people who sell self-storage. If they begin to relate to you as a buyer, then you will be amazed. You will have more deals to look at. I'm not saying you'll buy them all, but you'll have more deals to look at than you can imagine. I've got more deals sitting in my inbox right now than I can analyze. And I try to prioritize them and get to them all, and I try to call every one of those brokers back and talk to them and say, here's why I'm not interested in it, but please keep me in mind. And a lot of times there's information I don't know. I just looked at one that was too small for me, and I saw that there was no way for me to add enough value to get the returns that I need. But I called the broker, thanked them for sending it to me, told them why it didn't seem like it could be a fit for me. I may know a couple people it may be a fit for. And that broker told me that just yesterday they talked with the landowner next door. There's an acre that they can get control of where we could do an expansion. Now all of a sudden, that looks like a really good project to us. Now, no one else in the country knows about that except us. Why? Because I was calling and talking to those brokers. So here's my step-by-step suggestions on how to develop the relationships that will make a huge difference over your self-storage career. Step number one, get a list of the websites where the self-storage deals are on. You know them. If you're interested in the ones that I use, again, creating wealth through selfstorage.com/129. That just has a simple list of the websites that we use. Now, you probably already use them, but set up as many autoresponders as you can that will automatically send you emails of listings as they come on the market. So that was number two, set up the autoresponders. Number three, with each one of the agents that you see on those websites, reach out to those agents and talk to them about very specific listings that they have. Even if you're not interested, connect with the agents, let them know who you are, and give them your self-storage story. Get them thinking about who you are and what you're looking for. And fourth, go look at deals. Even if it's a deal you don't think it's going to work, go look at deals. Meet these agents. I now am developing the practice. I don't write an LOI anymore unless I've actually gone and seen the property. I used to, very often, like many people, I would write an LOI. If I can get control of it, then I'll go take a look at it. But as the market heated up and frankly, bigger players than me came into the market, and with a lot more resources than I have, one of the things that I realized I could do is I go look at the deal. So if I get something in my inbox and it looks like a good deal, I will drive all night, I will get on a plane, I will fly wherever I need to, I go look at the property, I set the appointment up through the agent, I meet that seller. Just recently, like within the last month, we